What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Yeah, you see, we got the bike out today, guys. The 135 kit is in. This is our first little cruise because we're just trying to put some break-in miles on this bike first before we start ripping into it. We're going to treat this one a little bit different. Because it is a Screaming Eagle Harley kit, we got to use their break-in procedures on this one. So I don't want to go outside of that. I want to compare apples to apples and make sure I do this kit right. Now, I'm going to take you guys to a spot of mine that I can just sit back and relax and have a conversation with you. Because I want you guys to understand the whole purpose behind why I chose the Harley 135 kit. Because I know you guys might have some questions. I've seen a lot of questions in the comments that I just didn't have time to answer because it would be a little long-winded, so I decided let's make a video about it. I'm letting you guys hear the motor, how it sounds. It's very, very smooth. All you probably hear is the exhaust, and that's how it's supposed to be. These bikes need until about 170 to 180 degrees to hit their perfect temperature, so you guys can actually get out there and start, pretty much riding the bike how you want to. The choice is yours, but I'm letting you guys know what I'm going to be doing with this bike and how I'm going to be treating it. I will give it its time to break in, but we will be testing this bike after it's broken in. So guys, when I get to the spot, I'll set you guys up and we can have this conversation. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys for joining each and every time you guys do decide to join me. I gotta have a conversation with you guys. We're midway through this thing. The build is complete, but we still have one more step to take, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But the 135 kit, the Screaming Eagle 135 kit from Harley, why? Why did I pick it? What am I expecting from it? I know there's a lot of questions you guys want to know, so I want to answer those today. So guys, stick around. We'll get into it. All right, so why? Why a 135 kit versus an aftermarket 128 kit, 130 kit, some other kits from the aftermarket? Well, I felt like the best bang for the buck was the Screaming Eagle kit. I would usually say no to the Screaming Eagle kit, but this package that they've put together is just like the best bang for the buck. You get everything you need, and to compare that to an aftermarket kit, which you're going to automatically void your warranty for, yeah, it wouldn't make sense for me. On top of that, comparing horsepower to aftermarket horsepower with their kit and just a little massaging of the parts is pretty much going to be the same. So why not do it with warranty in mind, with the parts that they've probably tried and true and have proven already, versus me going out and doing another aftermarket kit for a brand new bike like this that we don't know what we're going to end up with at the end of the build process. So, okay, so being that Harley gives you everything you're gonna need for a 135 kit and to especially keep your kit reliable and safe, let me give you a little bit of the rundown on the price. $4,500 to about $5,000, we'll just use a round number for the full kit. You get cylinders, pistons, heads, you get a throttle body, you get a manifold, you get a cam plate with a cam, the piston rings, the lifters. You get everything you need to turn your 121 into a 135. Guys, if you have a 117, the process is a little bit different because now you have to buy the crate motor. Comes with a crank, different things like that. The full bottom end complete kit, just swap and drop. This one doesn't need it because it already has the bottom end kit to make the 121 to 135. So I get a little bit better price. If you want to do the complete drop-in kit, I believe it's a little over $8,000 for just the motor kit. Remember, guys, these also bring an exhaust. Most guys are not going to use that exhaust, and from what I'm understanding, they say you're supposed to, but if you were to maybe use something a little bit more quality, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's going to get you a little bit more performance. Mind you, the 135s usually bring from Harley, this is what they're saying, 130 horse and then 140 torque, but we've seen Harley Screaming Eagle tuner, the complete kit, make a little bit more horsepower. I saw 140, 150, or high 140s out of those bikes, and I think that's still super impressive. Remember, I think this is done a little bit better than that 131 kit that they did. I was, that was one of those things that I said, all right, that's why I'm staying away from Harley, because we would bring out a stage 2 or a 128 kit that would just be far more superior than the old 131 Screaming Eagle kits from Harley. But once we learned how to massage those kits, now they're just so much more of a fun bike to ride. So back to it. Those are the parts you're going to need. Now, of course, you can take your bike to any certified mechanic to get these parts installed. From what I've seen, it's a couple of day time turnaround, especially when you're doing a top end kit. If you're doing a complete motor swap, I don't know, but I would think it would be a little less time. Mine only took about 3 to 4 days, and that's to get me in, out, and on the road. So guys, after you get these motors put together, go ahead and go out and put some miles on it. Do not try and put it right on the dyno. I don't think that's the best procedures. I think they kind of want you to let the heat cycles go through these bikes a little bit, and then take it to your dealer or your tuner and let them tune it the rest of the way on the dyno. All right, guys, so now after everything's installed, from what I'm understanding, the break-in period. This is gonna be a little bit different from what I usually do. I usually take the bike out and I'm riding. I'm riding hard. I don't give these bikes a break. But for this type of setup, because we don't know enough, we don't want to have any mishaps. There's been a lot of the times exhausts have been, damaging engines. There could be improper break-in procedures on these 135 kits, and I don't want to have any issues. I want to be able to compare apples to apples. So whatever Harley tells you, do it that way. Now for me, the bike is not going to go over 3,500 RPMs within the first couple of 100 miles. Once I'm done with that part of the break-in period, and I'm talking, highway riding, not a lot of local heat, sitting in traffic riding, allowing the temperatures to go up and down, the bike to kind of like find itself. We have a Thundermax tuner on there, so it's kind of trying to self-learn as well. So when I do take it to the tuner, it might be a little bit easier, but we're going to go through all the proper procedures the first time and get it done the right way. If the bike lacks in horsepower because of how you break it in, who cares? As long as it's reliable. Now, it's never been proven that breaking them in hard give more horsepower, but for some reason, all mine have a little extra horsepower because of how I ride them in just the very beginning. So do yourself a favor, guys. Do it the right way. Whatever the book tells you, whatever you or your builder might tell you, do it that way. This bike has not been tuned on a dyno yet. Like I said, we're still in the learning process and the break-in process. So once I figure I'm done, it will go to the dyno, and then we will break it in the right way. And then soon after that, we do another oil change just to make sure everything is going to be perfect inside of there, because you don't want to be out and taking those rides with the oil from the break-in period in the bike. Get it out of there, start fresh, and make sure you have just proper maintenance on those bikes. Now, guys, my final thoughts. Just from riding it and during this break-in period, like I said, I'm not going over 3,500 RPMs. I'm impressed. Yeah, I'm really impressed. I really think that the power is there already. I just can't twist the throttle to kind of like get it out of the bike yet. But what we're expecting is to be at least 160 horsepower. Now, you got to understand, 160 horsepower on a bike like this is going to feel like a lot, especially over your older M8s. Remember, they call this the Gen 2. So over your Gen 1 M8s, this is going to feel like a lot more bike and a lot more power. So 160 horsepower is nothing to sneeze at, and especially for a daily rider, something you can just take out and take trips with. Now, if this bike makes more, if it said it makes 170 horsepower, I'll be even more impressed, but I'm just hoping for 160. We have a Chromeworks exhaust on here, and I'm confident in this exhaust now, because after hearing it and putting it on a dyno with basically a bone stock bike and seeing it really perform without a cam in it, without some compression behind it, I was really, really impressed. The bike has already been impressive, guys. I've told you 100 times, but and that's where we're sitting with it. So if we can get between 160 and 170 horsepower, guys, I'll be very, very happy. So guys, now I want to give you some sound clips. I want to let you guys hear this exhaust as we're riding. I want you to hear first startup. I want you to hear a bunch of things. Guys, if you haven't checked me out on Instagram, it's The Real Official Mac. I usually try to post over there first, so you guys can see that there's already been a startup and idle while the bike has been at the shop. But one thing before I go, remember, these are the new bikes, the new technology. There's a lot of people out there having issues or a lot of different things. Remember, I told you guys, wait till you get at least 2,500, 2,000 to 3,000 miles on your bike. But what I didn't tell you guys is you can't let the battery die. I'm going to show you a clip in a second, because if you let the battery die, that's when you just open a can of worms. And sometimes it's just best to go ahead and replace the battery, from what I've seen, because my battery actually died on this bike, and I've seen it do some quirky stuff that I've never seen before. But as soon as we changed that battery out, it was perfect. It ran just like it was supposed to run. But sometimes it happens. Sometimes the switch might stay on. Sometimes, like, I think it was my hand controls that stayed on, and I don't know what the issue was. I'm just guessing that's what the problem may have been, because I've seen it happen before, when you have to then start the bike back up and then turn it back off. So just little things like that. But if you do have something like that happen, yeah, it could be a little headache. Just be prepared to go get yourself a new battery. All right, guys. Until the next time, I appreciate you for watching, joining, subscribing, check out these clips, and I'll see you next time. What's up? The light is definitely flashing. Alright. There's no battery in it.
No battery in it.
And the fucking fuse is unplugged right there. So a little firmware update, getting everything right. Let's see here. All right, so the bike's done. We're gonna start it up again. We got a base tune in it. Nothing too crazy. We're gonna break it in the nice way, right? Little highway miles, 3 grand, 3,500 RPMs. That's about it until we start really trying to dial the bike in on the dyno. I did put the reducer in, guys, if you wanted to know, and we're gonna give it a start with the reducer in. That's it. Let's load her up.